It's research that hopelessness is predictive of loneliness. Hopelessness is the only predictor of suicide, kind of consistent predictor of suicide. Hopelessness is the primary symptom of depression. It's a key symptom of anxiety. Hopelessness is predictive of addiction, violence, interparent violence, all kinds of things. And that is why we are so passionate about teaching the skills of hope, and how to maintain a sense of hope even when the world around you seems to kind of be crashing. We have, even prior to this year and all of the protests and COVID, 50% of inner city youth feel hopeless on a regular basis. In the LGBTQ community, that is over 65% on a regular basis. And so I'm really passionate about getting these skills to youth because, again, hope is teachable. And the first thing we teach them how to do is how to just experience their emotions, how to not run from them, how to experience. If they're sad, feel sad. If they're angry, feel angry, and yet not kind of act out when in that state, which is really, important. How have you been seeing? I know you mentioned Oregon, and I was there for some of the protests, and hopelessness is a consequence of race-related discrimination. Again, totally makes sense. Hopelessness is a feeling of despair. It's a sense of helplessness. And when you're oppressed in any way, that is a likely feeling and sense that you have about change. So what are you seeing there in Oregon?
Yeah, so one thing I want to mention is that just around hopelessness is that you've been working on this subject for a long time. And if you ever felt a question mark about if this is your life calling, at some point in 2020, I hope you woke up and realized that you were born at the right time, and this is your life calling. Because the subject of hopefulness and hope is shamefully undervalued by mental health professionals. I have lots of close colleagues who are child psychiatrists. Lots of relationships, lots of respect for the system. There are things that academia and these traditional systems are slow to pick up, and this concept of hope is still taken not as seriously as it should be. It's seen as woo-woo. It's not taken as a critical component. And when we at Youth Era, when we started looking at hope and quality of life improvements, we used the positive youth development 40 protective assets, which a lot of those are around hopefulness. We saw that our staff got better at working with young people. When we were looking at that as an outcome, we had better outcomes that the insurance companies, we work with some insurance companies and we have outcomes specific for them. But when we were guided by looking at quality of life improvements and hopefulness, we were meeting those markers as well. So it's a critical time to have this conversation.